Okay, good morning. My name is Christina Savoy. I am the fitness coordinator at the John H. Chafee Fitness Center in Newport, Rhode Island. Today, I'm gonna use a mask today because as we all know, we are still in a pandemic. In the future, we're gonna be introducing our new YouTube channel and have lots of great resources for you to get it done in 2021. So our whole goal today is to get you introduced to our program called Get It Done in 2021. Hopefully there's a lot of active duty people out there that we can help out because a lot of you are still working out at home. You're kind of stuck at home, stuck at the office, only allowed to go certain places. So we're gonna give you a new way of looking at your workout starting today. So this PDF will be up at our NavyLifeNewport.com page. You're gonna then link to Fitness Center info, and at the bottom of that page, it'll say downloads. Okay, and this Get It Done in 2021 is on there for you. So each week, if you download this, you kind of understand where we are, where we're coming from, and follow with us. So for today, all we're gonna do is introduce a new way of looking at your workout. So Get It Done in 2021 is basically a safe, effective way to work out without injuries, or if you've had injuries, how can we help you get better with those injuries and have a more profitable way of getting better? Okay. So today, we're gonna be looking at a FMS squat and an FMS active straight leg raise. Myself and one of my trainers here, Pat Mahoney, is going to be our demoers for today, and each of us have had our share of injuries and different experiences through life that I can guarantee we are not going to score a perfect score. Okay. So you have some good demos here today. So what we're going to do is then what's going to happen is my other trainer, Dennis, who is FMS certified, is going to then look at what we did today, and he's going to evaluate it. When we come back next week, we're going to talk about what we scored, why we scored it, and what are the things that can make Pat and my workouts better for 2021. The first month, all we're talking about is lower body push, lower body pull, and a lower body workout, okay? Workout's already on there for that PDF for you, but what's gonna happen is we're gonna see what can Pat and I do better or more effectively. What are our notes and what are the corrections that we need to make every day, not just the day of a leg workout, to get it done in 2021, okay? A couple of other things I just wanna introduce you today to is these here, or other tools like them, should become your best friends in 2021. Okay, so our goal, our training staff here at John H. Chafee Fitness Center, is to help you understand why these things exist. So you probably walk in the gym and you've been doing it for years and you do your thing, and I don't foam roll, I don't have time for that, whatever. So we really want to make you understand that these are critical parts and components of your new way to get it done, okay? We do not pass go, we do not skip, we don't just get 200, we just don't get the body that we want, we just don't get to do the things we want, we don't get to have a 6-minute mile. We gotta put a little bit of work into it, and these are gonna be part of that working process, just like anything else that we do. Okay. So I'm gonna put these down here. This will all make sense as the weeks progress, I promise you, okay? And just one more thing to say. This is our methodology. This is what we believe in. This is what the John H. Chafee Fitness Center and our crew believes in. You can take it, you can leave it, but I can tell you that you will feel better if you start to watch our programs. Okay, so we're gonna set up now. We're gonna do the squat assessment. And what we're looking for here, and Dennis will talk a little bit too, is looking at people's hips, what's going on from their ankles to their knees to their hips, what are the different actions that should be happening there, and why is some things that we find out next week, why they're not happening, okay? And I'll give full disclosure, I have bone-on-bone knee in both knees. I am gonna have replacements at some point in the future, and I've had multiple surgeries on my right side. So that is a good thing to, how am I gonna now progress through life? I'm not gonna can't quit my job. I'm not gonna quit working out. I'm not gonna quit doing the things I love. So what is the way that I can now get past this and have a better quality of life and still work out? And then Pat here is going to be our other subject today. And he has his own issues that he's dealt with over the years. He's done multiple triathlons, done multiple Ironmans and things like that. So we're sure there's been some wear and tear on that body as well. All right. So now I'm going to pass it off to Dennis.
All right. So as Christina said, this FMS screen is a set of movements that we take you through to try and check your mobility and your stability. We're doing 2 of the 7 or 8 movements today, so we're not doing the whole screen. And as Christina said, the point of the screen is to try and get some feedback about how good your mobility and stability is. You know, as Christina said, your body will always find a way to do something even if it's the wrong way. And over time, if you keep compensating in your movement, you're going to end up with injury. And you know, again, as Christina said, you know, most of us have issues with our bodies, maybe accumulated injuries and stuff. So we're not looking for perfect mobility. We're just looking for adequate mobility that will enable you to safely do the kind of movements with weight that you want to do. So if we find an issue with mobility, one of the first things we might do is back off from loading some pattern. Like if there's a problem with your squat, we don't want to then see you putting 200 pounds on your back and squatting if you've got a problem with that, all right? So we're gonna set up, and so Christina will come to the front here, and your feet are about hip width apart. As you know, Christina's also certified here, so she knows the drill. And okay, so we know this goes on the top of your head. Yeah, just come down for a minute here to. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so then you're gonna press overhead.
There.
Yep. Can you turn this foot? There you go. Perfect. All right. So we're trying to get her feet perfectly straight. She's just going to descend into a squat slowly and deliberately. Hold it there for a second, as low as she can go, and then come back up. Okay. All right. So then come back up. So then what we're going to do as a second one, we're going to put her up on the board, or her heels are going to go on the board. And she's going to assume that same position. And so obviously with the heels elevated, this should make it a little bit easier. Turn that one out just a bit. Perfect. Okay. And so press and descend. Okay. All right. So let's do Pat now, and we can offer a little bit of a contrast between Pat. We might as well do Pat right here, right?
All right. Bring it.
Okay. So I'm going to take this for a minute, Pat. Can you straighten that foot out? Yeah, just a little bit. Okay. So you just put it on top of your head first with your elbows at 90. So you come in a little bit. Okay. Perfect. Press it overhead. You're going to descend into a squat. As low as you can. Okay, all right, and come back up. So, you know, one of the interesting things, do you see how Pat's, right? So, yeah, well, and Christina has noticed that too. So, you know, what happens sometimes, there's a compensation, right? As you descend, you tend to externally rotate because you got to get more mobility. There, okay? Now, one of the other things I should have said it right at the start is, if you are trying this at home, if you have any pain in your movement, again, as Christina knows, we stop. We do not say, let's go work through the pain. No, do not do that, right? Pain is your body trying to tell you something. So if you have pain, we always say you need to see a clinician, a doctor or a physical therapist to figure out the source of the pain. The pain is going to make you move incorrectly. So do not work through the pain. Right? Discomfort is fine, right? I mean, exercise can be hard work. It can be uncomfortable, but it should not be painful. I mean, if you get down there in that squat and it hurts, stop, okay, please. All right, so Pat, let's put you back up on a little bit wider, I think. Let me just take this. Okay, perfect. All right, let's try that again. Yep, perfect, okay. Press overhead. Okay, and then descend. Okay, perfect. Come on, got it. Okay, so you probably saw the difference between Christina and Pat there, right? So they had different compensations when their feet were on the ground, and slightly different compensations when their feet were up on the board, right? What we're looking for there, so excuse me, an optimal score is if you could, and I can't, so right? The idea is probably a cat who's holding the camera. We're looking for you to keep your feet straight, to descend, okay? Like, see, I pitch forward here, right? So the idea is you should be able to get below parallel. Your thigh should be below your knee. Your body, your upper body should be able to stay roughly upright or in a parallel with your shins, okay? And so the three of us, no can do. But that's optimal, right? We're only looking for adequate. So if when up here, you can descend to below parallel and hold your body straight, then that's adequate mobility. We're gonna say, fine, you can do what you want. If we see this kind of stuff, for instance, then we're gonna say, well, no, we need to work on some aspect of your mobility. And you'll notice here that there's multiple points, as Christina said, right? We need good ankle mobility. We need good hip mobility. We need good thoracic spine mobility here. So we're going to try and figure out the differences here between Christina and Pat about where their issues are, right?
So we got one more to go today. Like I said, we're going to keep this nice and simple for day one because we're programming you for the month. And we're talking about all things lower body right now. But as Dennis said, everything's still connected. So there are things when we tilt it forward that were actually happening in our upper body that affects our lower body. So we're going to talk a little bit about T-spine, but we're going to bring that in next week when we get our corrective exercises. So for today, I understand you at home is not certified. I understand that you're not able to get to the gym. You're not able to get to see your trainer right now. You're not able to do these things that we want you to do. So all I want you to do is look at our video a few times. I want you to take your phone. I want you to just get as close as you can. You don't have the apparatus we have, but just kind of go into that squat. And then film yourself one more time from the side and see what's going on. And this isn't, the perfect world. Perfect world would be you come and take an appointment with us. We'd set you up. We'd hang out with you for a couple of months and fix you all up. But in this world that we're in 2021, we're going to help you via this YouTube channel, okay? So the next one we're going to go on to now, which is one of my favorites, because we all know most of the people that we deal with as trainers have some kind of hamstring issues or things like that might happen in that chain. And how many people I've trained over the years that can't touch their toes. So let's take a look at that. We're going to move into that world. Like I said, everything is going to connect. The dots are all going to connect. They're just not going to connect on day one. But once you get through this whole programming with us and follow that PDF along, everything's going to make sense and you will get it done in 2021. So the next one.
So the next one is an active straight leg raise. So Christina's going to lie on her back, and the middle of her knees are going to be across the middle of the board here. Okay. And then her feet are going to be together, and she's going to lie down on her back. Her hands are going to be turned out, actually, at right about there. Her feet are going to be together. Just going to push them together. Together like that. And her toes are pointed up. So, one of the things we do, we try to standardize everyone's starting position, right? Now, typically in a more complete screen, I would measure something here, but I'm just going to put the dowel about in the middle of her thigh, and I'm going to ask her to raise one leg slowly and deliberately, keeping the other leg on the ground as straight as possible, and keeping the leg that she's raising as straight as possible. Okay. And so that was her right leg. I'm going to put those two together again. There we go. So the standard that we're looking for here is, notice she got past, her ankle got past the dowel, and that's really good mobility, okay? And if she didn't get that far, adequate mobility would have been maybe about here. Her leg would have gotten past here. And then if it didn't get past there, then we'd say we really need to work on probably your hip mobility, okay? So let's try the other leg, Christina. Okay, so same thing, right? So, again, one of the things that we're interested in here is whether there's any asymmetries. And notice you just saw Christina ended up in the same place with both her right and left leg. So there are no asymmetries from her left and right side. When she was raising that one leg, the other leg stayed down, straight, and flat. So notice that there are 2 or 3 different areas that we're testing, right? Christina referred to the hamstrings, but also then, you need good extensibility here, and she has to have good lumbopelvic control, right? There's that stability aspect in order to get mobility there, all right? And now Pat will jump in here, and we'll try Pat. Okay, perfect. Yep. So again, Pat's knees, can you slide just down a little bit? There you go. Perfect. Okay, so his feet are together, his toes are pointed straight up, he's got his arms pointed out. I'm going to sort of approximate where I need to be with the dowel. So Pat, let's leave this leg on the ground and you'll raise this leg slowly and deliberately. Okay, now see, notice there's a little bend in his there and here. So I need you to come back down. So try and keep both legs as straight as possible. So now they're perfectly straight, which is great. And we'll raise that one again, slowly and deliberately, keeping it as far as you can. Okay. So when Pat comes up that high, it's good. But what you'd see is this leg is starting to move a little bit. Okay. So probably Pat's good range of mobility is maybe in here, right? Not all the way up here, right? Now, this is perfectly adequate, right? So, if Pat had only come to here, which, Christina and I have both seen, we're going to say, no, that doesn't work. If Pat gets to, say, about here, we're going to say, okay, that's adequate. And, if Pat had come easily all the way down, right?
Getting a good stretch.
Yeah, right. We'd say, okay, no compensations at all, right? Yeah. So let's try the other leg, Pat. Okay. So again, let's do that again. Try and keep this leg perfectly straight when you come and point those toes up. Yeah. Perfect. So slowly and deliberately. Okay. So same thing a little bit. Same thing, roughly. Although I think a little bit better on this side. This down leg did not move as much. So there's probably a little bit of asymmetry here that we might have to work on with Pat. But again, adequate mobility, right? He passed the middle of his kneecap, essentially, on the down leg. And so if we were working with Pat, the way this FMS stuff works is first we protect. Right? If you've got a mobility limitation, we don't want you doing things underweight that you don't have the mobility for. You'll find a way to do them, right? We've all seen in the gym plenty of strong people do it, but they're compensating, and eventually that will lead to a problem. So we tell you, please stop doing certain things, and then we correct, and then we develop. And that's exactly what Christina's plan is with this whole set of stuff is, okay, first let's make sure you're okay to do it, right? If you're not, we'll find a way to help you correct it. And if you are, bingo, get going, okay? So I think on both these, the active straight leg raise, Christina and Pat were fine. So in terms of, hip hinging stuff, no problem at all. In terms of squatting, our conclusion was Pat's probably okay because he was able to go all the way down. Christina wasn't able to break parallel, probably because of injuries and surgeries and knees and right. And as she said, she will work on She's not going to give up. She's going to work on the things that can help her do things safely.
So for today, that's as far as we want to go for today. Because again, this is going to be, it's a process, and it's our own process because we as trainers are learning a new process to how to effectively get to our clientele through the phone and through your computers and through your households versus physically coming here to see us. So we just want to give you a journey through this Get It Done in 2021 that is, again, safe. You're going to hear us say that over and over again throughout the course of everything we do. Safe, effective, and efficient. Okay? So when we move into next week, we're going to hear just some different corrective things that I can do, some corrective things that Pat can do, and I printed off my PDF, and I'm going to write those down when Dennis tells me what it is that I need to do. Then next week, what we're going to do is we're going to go through, again, I want you to think about this as a whole new way of working out for a lot of people. We're going to give you a basic standardized warm-up, but it's not probably the warm-up that most of you are used to. Okay, it's not going to be go run on the treadmill for 3 minutes, go on a rower for 5 minutes, go do some jumping jacks somewhere. We're going to actually give you the corrective exercises that he and I need, but then we're also going to give you stuff that is good for everybody. Okay, so what will happen essentially is Pat and I have our corrective exercises. We know we have to work on those. We should probably work on those daily, okay? And not just when we do a leg workout. Okay? That's on our own time. We can do it at the gym as well, but that's really something that we need to do daily if we want to actually see improvement. So you got to come into this mindset. Do you actually want to see improvement? Are you okay where you were in 2020? I'm not okay where I was. Pat's not okay where he was. Dennis is not okay where he was. Kat's gonna jump in here sometimes too, and she's got things that she wants to improve on. We always want to get to another level, a better level, but a safe, effective, and efficient level, okay? And believe it or not, even though we're trainers, we don't have 17 hours a week to work out, okay? So we're gonna figure out how to do our corrective exercises on our own time, but then when we come in and we start doing this leg workout, which will be in 2 weeks from now, we're all gonna do this warm-up. You're gonna do that warm-up with us at home. We're gonna show you how to do it right. And then we're gonna have our actual workout. In the notes here on the side, I put some that I know are gonna happen. I might be doing my squats with no weight until my correcting improves, okay? So for me, I may be at a level where I am never going to load weight on my squats till April, okay? But the goal is to get to April and be able to load those squats because I cannot continue to let my muscles just, dissolve because I can't use weight. Body weight's good though. I mean, it's definitely a good thing to have. If it's all I can do and I cannot improve, and I've worked with physical therapists, I have, a surgeon that I work with, I keep working with them, I keep working with my trainers, and I figure out what I'm gonna do. So you at home, if you have access to those things, like Dennis said, if there is pain, you need to stop right now, go talk to somebody, okay? If you're discomfort, that's a different thing, and we're not talking about, like we're talking about, ooh, that feels a little off, that feels a little odd. Still something that you might want to seek out help in the future, but you may be able to correct it by following us through the next couple of months. And that's it for today. So basically, all I want to do is introduce us. So I'm Christina. Here's Pat.
Hello.
And Dennis.
Good morning.
And then Kat right now is behind the camera, but next week we'll get Kat involved too. So she's going to be our filmer for today. But you'll get to learn all of us. Between the four of us, if you combine all our years in fitness, it's going to be over 40 years. So there's quite a lot of experience here. I've been a fitness professional since 1995 after I graduated the University of Rhode Island. Pat, 1994, 2000. Okay, so that's a lot of years. Dennis has had multiple careers, and he's starting off in the fitness field for officially 3 years certified. 3 years certified. And then Kat behind the camera, she's been with us for now almost a year and a half, and she graduated with a 4-year degree in kinesiology, so she's looking at her 5th and a half, 6th year in the fitness world-ish. So there's a lot of knowledge here. We have a lot of layers and levels here that you can hopefully learn from. It's our philosophy. I've trained for a long time. I've trained at different levels. I've played different sports. I've done different things. And pain is not fun. There is no gain in pain. I just need you, that needs to come out of your head right now. It's unavoidable at times, especially if you're an athlete. It's unavoidable at times in the, if your career is in the Navy as a sailor, there's certain things that have to be done. There's certain things mechanically and physically in the job that have to be done. So accidents happen, wear and tear on the body is going to happen, but pain is not something that you should be wanting or willing to live with. So we can try to help that. Can't guarantee it will all go, but we can guarantee that hopefully for your next PRT, for your next job that you're doing out there, that you will have better mechanics to safely do it with the least amount of pain possible. So that's it for today. Thank you for hanging out with us. Get it done in 2021. Your next installment will be next week. Woo.